Thank you. Just want to kind of go through what the agenda is going to be for the next few hours so you know what to expect. I'm the IIoT Center of Excellence lead at Chevron and a steering committee member here. So after we go through the agenda and ground rules, I think Greg's going to come back and talk about the progress that the DTC made in last year. Then we'll go through a user story around AI from Albert Marley. And then we're going to go into breakout sessions. That's where we're going to take everyone here, then break them up into smaller groups. And there's questions that we ask that we go around the group and you kind of answer the questions. And where it's really a great time where you get to see, kind of the wins, the successes, the challenges of everyone in your group. And it's a smaller group, so it's kind of easier to converse. And then we'll have a report out from those groups after that. And we'll go through the steering committee nomination process for this year. An elections process, then we'll have a short break, and we'll come back from there, and then we'll vote on the research priorities for ARC for 2020. So this is where you really get a chance to drive what they research and the research that they give us. Okay, so if you have something that, hey, I want to know about this in the earlier part of the year, you can vote to say, hey, I want to prioritize that and make that something you hit to sooner rather than later. And then after that, we'll go through a snapshot of a benchmarking of the results from one of the studies that they've done to kind of give you an idea. And then we'll go through another user story around digital journey in manufacturing. And then we'll go from there, we'll go to member signups and an open discussion. And then we'll wrap up and close there around 5:30 or so. So just in case you're not aware, the mission of the ARC DTC is to enable industry professionals like us to keep abreast of many emerging technologies and business trends and to learn from others. That's the collaboration part here, that are on similar journeys, and then leverage these trends and technologies to achieve transformational growth in our industry or our business. So how do they achieve that? So the DTC was created a couple years ago at this forum. That's when it was launched. And members there's 90 plus companies globally, and it's all end users. So there's no systems integrators, no vendors in this community. And that's all across 15 different industries. So the annual face-to-face gatherings happens with the ARC forum. And so that's this one here, and then in May in Barcelona. And then there's also monthly online meetings where we have webinars that we go through topics and stuff that we lay out here in this meeting. So it's stuff that would be relevant to you because you're going to vote on what those topics are going to be. So those monthly webinars are like an hour long. There's an SME presentation, and then a lot of discussion after that. So again, it's a lot of questions and answers to get the information that you need. And then after that, there's been regional meetings that they started up last year. So that we had regional meetings in Houston and Calgary and Germany. And those meetings are kind of like this, it's face-to-face, but it's typically a smaller group. I know last year was at the Petroleum Club in Houston, and that meeting, Mike Carroll gave a presentation that I took home like 2 or 3 key takeaways that were really great. So those meetings are great because you can, like here, you're focused, you're in the room, you can get rid of all distractions, and you can really dive in and gather information that you really need and ask the questions that you need answers to. And also from the resources that DTC has, provide online access where members only can get in there and get their reports that they've generated. And there's got all kinds of a wealth of knowledge of all the different benchmarking they've done across industries. So we're all here to exchange ideas. We're not from the same business segment, so to speak. So, we've got energy, automotive, cybersecurity, smart cities, utilities, pharmaceuticals. All that to say is you may hear a perspective that you're not used to hearing in your own business. And that's where it's something you can take home as a key takeaway as well. So it's kind of like I used to be a systems integrator, and I programmed something in oil and gas that I could apply to food and beverage, and then vice versa. And it's really great to be able to hear those keys that you're not used to hearing, from the guys that are just your business segment, which you kind of hear a lot of the same guys all the time in that respect. So, and then the other key is also you get out of it what you put into it. So in these discussions today, really, ask the questions. There's no dumb questions. The only problem you're going to have is if you walk out, you wanted to ask a question, you didn't. So make sure you ask that question and engage with the people in your small group. So how we go about that is we kind of have some rules that we follow for that. So it's our antitrust checklist. So I'm going to start with the don'ts, and I'll just hit a couple there. So we don't discuss pricing, multipliers, discount rates, that type of thing. That's specific to your company and vendors. We don't discuss any changes in production capacities, inventories that at least it's not already public knowledge. We don't discuss transportation rates, and we don't discuss company bid procedures or matters that are relating to individual specific named suppliers that could cause negatively affect their business. So we want to be honoring here. So that'll kick us over to the do side. So the do side is really any meeting that we have, we're going to have a DTC steering committee member, which is really an ARC forum person specifically at that meeting. We need to have an agenda that we're going to follow. And also as part of that, we're going to keep, notes about what happened during the meeting, probably record it. That's the easiest way to do that, just so we have record of what was going on. And then we're also going to be vigilant to have people listening, because, you get off into something you're really passionate about. Sometimes you forget about the don't side. So we're going to be vigilant to kind of help say, hey, let's move it back over here and get off of those numbers that you just said. So we're vigilant about that. So we don't want to create any antitrust issues. So with that, we'll go back here to Greg. Thank you.